The Baltimore Ravens just had the perfect draft over the weekend. We're going to break down what they did on offense, defense, and special teams that took them to the next level and is going to get them over the hump to hopefully make it to a Super Bowl appearance. And we're going to do it right now, right here on Ravens Digest. Welcome to Ravens Digest. I'm your host, Bryce Parker. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment to make sure that you're staying up to date with all things Baltimore Ravens and to make sure that you know all of the up-to-date things that is going on with your favorite team. So let's get started. The NFL draft was this past weekend. You know, the Baltimore Ravens had 11 picks across all 7 rounds, and they made some great moves. A lot of draft analysts are predicting that they had a draft anywhere ranging between an A- and a B. Personally, I gave them an A because I believe that they addressed all of their needs, and they didn't reach for any players. They let guys fall to them. And so we're going to break down what the Baltimore Ravens were able to do over the weekend on offense, defense, and special teams that's going to make them an exponentially better team, especially when it comes to the playoffs. So let's get started. We're going to start on offense. We have Emory Jones Jr., a 6'5", 315-pound tackle out of LSU. This guy is massive, and he played all over the line while he was at LSU. He played guard, he played tackle, and then while he was at tackle these past 2 years, they moved him around a lot from left to right tackle, so he has the versatility to play on both sides. Now, I think this upcoming year, he's going to be battling for that starting guard position. They have one guard position that's open right now. He's going to be battling for it, and I believe with his frame, with his size, and with his ability to move, he's going to be able to earn that starting spot. And then also in special packages, he does have the experience of playing tackle, so he can move over, especially if injuries become a problem. This was a big move to add depth to one of the best run-blocking offensive lines in the National Football League. And he's a puller too. In LSU, they asked him to move a lot, and he did it very, very well, blocking in space in the run game. And who knows, he could be next year the replacement for Tyler Linderbaum, who could end up leaving in free agency, which actually got announced today. We're going to get into that in the next video, so stay tight. But again, this is a guy, he could be the tackle for the future. He could be a long-time guard. But the Ravens struck gold with Emory Jones Jr. in the 3rd round. Next, we're going to look and see what they were able to do on offense. On offense, we had Malaki Starks with the 1st round pick at 27. This was the guy that so many analysts, including myself, believed that was going to be the perfect fit for the Baltimore Ravens. And again, they didn't have to reach. He just fell in their lap. You know, some people thought maybe with Nick Emmanwori sliding in the draft, they were going to take him. But I actually like that they still stuck with Starks. Starks was a guy who honestly might have been the number 1 safety on my board over Jahdae Bryant. This is a guy that played all over the place. He's a multiple guy. He played in the slot. He played free safety. He played strong safety. He covered. He ran block. This guy did it all. And we know that there's another safety on the Ravens who does it all in Kyle Hamilton. I believe that this is going to be the best yin to yang tandem safeties, especially in the conference, but possibly in the entire football league. If you haven't watched Malaki Starks tape yet, this is a guy who's physical at the catch point. This guy loves to cover. He loves to play in the slot, which will free up Kyle Hamilton to do other things, which will free up Marlon Humphrey to do other things. You now have 3 guys in the secondary for the Baltimore Ravens that can move around, that can play multiple positions. You can play with coverages. You can play with blitzes, especially when it gets to 3rd down. And this guy, Malaki Starks, he loves to cover in the slot. Go back and watch this tape. He hardly misses in press coverage. And he's sticky, and he gets to the football. And that's going to be necessary when you have guys within your own division with George Pickens, DK Metcalf on the Steelers. You have T. Higgins. You have Jamar Chase, who you know that the Bengals love to move in and out of the slot. And he's a guy that can not only get big receivers in the slot, he can get shifty receivers in the slot, but he can also cover tight ends as well. So I love Malaki Starks. He's 6'1", 197 out of Georgia. He might put on a couple pounds, but this is a versatile player that I believe is going to fit perfect in the defensive coordinator system, especially going into his 2nd year. And lastly, special teams is important, and they picked up LaJohntay Wester, a wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner out of Colorado. He's 5'10", 163, so I don't think he's going to immerse himself into the offense yet, but he immediately steps in as a guy who can make a difference in the return game. And this was a big need that the Ravens had, especially their biggest number 1 need within the special teams game. So when you go after this video and you go watch his tape, what you're going to see is speed, explosion, and quickness. This is a guy who he's slippery, especially when he gets the ball in his hands. You never know what he's going to do, where he's going to go. He bounces off tacklers. You know, he's only 163, but this is a guy he's tough as nails. You're going to see him get nailed on some crossing routes. He's still going to be able to bounce off and make big plays. Now, I do think that maybe later in the season, he could add depth inside of that wide receiver room. He can be a guy that can be a gadget guy, you know, on jet sweeps, kind of how Xavier Worthy was used with the Kansas City Chiefs in the past season. But hey, this is a guy who also has very reliable hands. In his last 50 starts, he had a catch in every single matchup that he had. Again, 50 starts, he had a catch in every single game. That's about 3 to 4 seasons, give or take, of a guy who, you know, you can target him and he's going to come with the ball and he's not going to disappear. And so if you can add value in the return game, especially how you saw in some games, sometimes punt returns, kick returns can decide games, especially late in the playoffs. LaJohntay Wester is a guy who you absolutely needed because this was an area where the Ravens were in the bottom of the league last year. They added value. So again, they added value on offense, defense, and special teams. And we're going to break down all of their draft moves later in videos. But again, the Ravens made an amazing draft. They used all 11 picks, and they used them very wisely to add depth on offense, defense, and special teams. And these 3 guys are just the tip of the iceberg for what they were able to do on going into next season. So I'm excited to see what happens in rookie minicamp, training camp, preseason, going into the season, what the Ravens are going to be able to do to maximize their potential and hopefully hoist the Lombardi Trophy in 2026. So again, I'm Bryce Parker, your host of Ravens Digest. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to this video. Make sure you stay in touch with everything that's going on with the Ravens. Until next time, peace, and go Flock.